Hello, welcome back to How About That Crypto. You are watching your daily crypto news and updates with your host, Bitcoin Stylist on Twitter and Bitcoin Hairstylist on Instagram. I am here Monday through Friday, and I explain crypto and Web3 while keeping you up to date on all the latest. Today's news stories are SEC Chair Gary Gensler seems to be coming around by suggesting that he does not have all the tools to regulate crypto. And now he wants to work with the CFTC, the crypto industry's regulator of choice. Intel launches a new Bitcoin mining chip, but is it more friendly to the environment? What does all this mean? Not to worry, I'll explain it all. But first, if you like or don't like the content, please let me know by leaving a comment below. If you're listening on podcast, please give me 5 stars and follow me. If you're watching on YouTube, please smash the subscribe button, ring the bell. It helps support the channel, and it doesn't cost you anything. Just to be clear and litigious, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. You can use the links below to do your own research. My prayers continue to go out to the Ukrainian people and all those affected by this war. Hopefully it's over sooner than later. It's having massive repercussions throughout the world. And we won't get into it too much, but there's some stuff going on in Europe with the gas and energy stuff that I think is going to ripple in big ways coming up soon, but I'll probably do a story about that later. So if you've been watching, you know that I discuss risk of being an investor in crypto and adoption of crypto. Understanding both helps me make decisions on how to invest and understand the market a little bit better. No one knows how this cookie crumbles, but research is the key to giving us insight, not financial advice. You would also know that I think the only risk of crypto prices not taking off is regulation. I do not think there is risk of people not adopting the crypto tech. It is happening all the time and all over the world. You would definitely know this if you watch this channel because I talk about it. I talk about all the ways in which it is seeping into our lives, banks, phones, etc. Now, SEC Chair Gary Gensler has been very aggressive with his tone of regulation for crypto. He does not provide clarity to the markets, even though he says that all you have to do is come in and talk to the SEC. There have been numerous reports from crypto companies that have went in to talk to the SEC just to get told that they cannot give legal advice. Get a lawyer. After getting a lawyer, the companies will go back and ask, how does this look? Just to be told the same thing. This is the SEC, and we cannot give out legal advice. Get a lawyer. This leads to the narrative going on right now about the SEC using enforcement to regulate or regulation by enforcement. The big question at the center of all of this is crypto a security or a commodity? Think of it like this. Is crypto a stock in a company, or is it like gold, oil, grain, or currency? Those are all commodities. A stock in a company goes up or down based on the company's success or failure. So you are really investing in a team of people. A commodity or a currency's price goes up and down based on supply and demand. If a lot of people want grain, the price goes up. If everyone switches to electrical cars and no one wants to use oil, well, the price goes down. Why is this so important? Well, the SEC regulates securities or stocks. So the SEC gets involved if you want to invest in a team of people to build a business, etc. But the CFTC would oversee crypto companies if crypto is a commodity. The regulation is different. The biggest problem here is even if crypto company sells their coin and uses that money to build the business, that coin is still a commodity or currency. So let me say it again. The biggest challenge to the fact that we have this security or commodity, one is regulated by and the other is regulated by one and one is regulated by another, is that when a crypto company sells their coin, uses that money to build their business, which would fall under the security, but that coin is still a commodity. So how is it a security if it's also a commodity, if it's also a currency? If you don't know what I'm saying, I'm going to give you an example. Can you go to Starbucks? Can you go on Fidelity or Robinhood or wherever you buy your stock? You buy stocks in Starbucks and then go to Starbucks and use your stock to buy a cup of coffee? Can you go to the Apple store and buy a new MacBook or a new iPhone with your Apple stock? The answer is no. Due to this, there has been a call to come up with new rules or laws, maybe even a new regulatory body to regulate the crypto markets. Gary Gensler, up until now, has been saying, no, the SEC regulates securities and crypto is a security. Then he started changing his tone about saying some are securities and some are commodities, but he will not tell anyone which tokens or coins he thinks are securities. So I'm going to share this article. If you're listening on podcast, you can use the links below to follow along. All right, so the tones have changed. Author Alison Versprell, let me see how to spell that. Say that. Alison Versprell. Yeah, that's how you say it. Versprell reports for Bloomberg. SEC's Gensler calls for watchdogs to collaborate on crypto oversight. I'm going to read something from here for you. Gensler has asked SEC staff to collaborate with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission to develop a new plan to oversee platforms trading tokens that are a mix of securities and commodities, according to remarks at an event hosted by University of Pennsylvania Carey Law School. More rules are needed for exchanges because retail investors are currently vulnerable to scams and market manipulation, he said. I've asked staff to consider how best to register and regulate platforms where the trading of securities and non-securities is intertwined. This is being seen as a big win in the crypto industry. Bringing Gary Gensler to heel and stepping on his ego a bit is being applauded. I'm sure this is due to the executive order forcing all agencies to work together to figure out crypto regulations. Also, a bipartisan group of members of Congress, I'm going to say that again, bipartisan group of members of Congress, have written to him publicly telling him he needs to slow his roll and check himself. The crypto world coming into regulation will make the masses at large and financial institutions more comfortable about investing. We should not celebrate just yet, but enjoy the fact that the government is operating with checks and balances for now, at least on the surface. We will keep a close eye on this story, and I will keep you apprised of further developments. Before we move on, just remember in the same speech that this revelation of collaboration between agencies occurred, this excerpt explains why we should stay vigilant. The SEC chief has repeatedly said most tokens are securities and should be subject to his agency's rules. The fact is, most crypto tokens involve a group of entrepreneurs raising money from the public in anticipation of profits, the hallmark of investment contract or a security under our jurisdiction. Now, so I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. While it might seem like a security, how can you use any other security as a form of currency? Not that I know of. If you know differently, please leave a comment below. In my opinion, I think that some of the tokens are in fact being used like securities. So just so you know, I don't necessarily 100% disagree with Gary Gensler in the SEC saying that these things are securities. I would say they're more acting like securities to raise money for businesses to build their company. So I partially agree with Gary Gensler, but what I do not like is that he thinks he can use rules created way before anyone could even fathom crypto, and even rules created before people could fathom smartphones or the internet, as it is today. Rules written in the 30s and interpretations from the 70s should not govern this new tech in the new millennium. I'm sorry, I don't think so. If you agree, if you disagree, please leave me a comment below. I would love to hear from you. I like the joint task force, but I'm wary of the people tasked with figuring this all out. Biden has repeatedly appointed people that are not friendly with crypto, and then he turns around and says, hey, go come up with some rules. I don't like that. So I would prefer we all get out and vote this midterm election, vote against anti-crypto people, then have Congress with more crypto-friendly people write laws that protect investors, because I do want some form of protection, and allow for the space to flourish. I think the crypto industry is what will save this nation's economy as we stare down inflation, supply chain issues, and now the mainstream TV is pushing, or sorry, the mainstream media is pushing the big narrative, recession is coming. Recession is coming. Yes, that is what we're hearing on the news. All right. What are your thoughts? What are your, please leave a comment below. What do you think about this story? I think this is really massive. I think it's really interesting to see Gary Gensler changing his tone. Things seem to be moving in the direction that the industry wants for now. Don't get too excited yet. It really depends on how the elections go, how many people that are in Congress are friendly and excited about this new space, emerging technology and emerging asset class, and what people like Elizabeth Warren are just hating on it because they can't have absolute control over it. Instead of saying, you know what, this crypto thing is really fascinating and it's a growing industry and it's creating tons of jobs. And so maybe we just need to give DOJ and FBI more money so that they can police it. I don't think we should be making laws just to make the DOJ's and the FBI's job easier. Like, that's not what we should be doing. We shouldn't try to crush something to make the job of enforcement agents easier. We should just give them more money so that they can learn how to police it. I think the FBI and the DOJ seems to be doing a pretty good job. They've been able to return tons of money, but guess what? Their task force isn't big enough for the size of this industry. So anyway, what do you think about that? Leave a comment below. Tell me what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear from you. And yes, let's move on. So the other story for today is author Jiwan Sun reports for Cointelegraph. Intel launches new Bitcoin mining chip block sale. The company indicated that the device is designed in part for energy efficient blockchain hashing. I would read you the energy efficiency stuff, but I do not stand all of it, all the terahashes per second or joules per terahash. But if I understand the math, it sounds like it's about 13% more efficient. If someone knows differently, then please let me know. So while 13% more efficient doesn't sound like a lot, 13% is 13%. It's a small step, but the other cool thing, they are not shipping the entire machine. They're only shipping the chips. So you have to assemble this stuff yourself. This means this should mean less e-waste. Sounds kind of like IKEA. Build it yourself. Here are the parts. And check this out. This is an excerpt from this article. Regarding the development, Jose Rios, General Manager of Blockchain and Business Solutions in the Accelerated Computing Systems and Graphics Group at Intel. Imagine that being on your business card. I'm going to read that again. Jose Rios, General Manager of Blockchain and Business Solutions in the Accelerated Computing System and Graphics Group at Intel. Wow. Commented, we are proud to collaborate with and provide solutions to companies that are creating a more sustainable cryptocurrency ecosystem globally. The Intel block sale ASIC will play a major role in helping Bitcoin mining companies achieve both sustainability and hash rate scaling objectives in the years ahead. If you've been watching the channel, I've talked about the energy consumption. Most things that consume energy have utility only in the moment, like driving a car, turning the lights on. So the value can diminish pretty rapidly after you use the energy. But the mining of Bitcoin creates an asset which miners believe has value. This means that they just want to keep their costs low by finding cheap energy and more efficient parts. If Bitcoin mining is deployed to increase energy consumption on an electrical grid during times when demand is low, this incentivizes energy producers to build more production. If this new production is incentivized or mandated to be green, if this new production is incentivized or mandated to be green energy, then that would cause a boom in the green energy space. Additionally, green energy production can be built where there is no grid, as long as there is internet, which we can get via satellite. Thank you, Elon Musk. This production of energy can have mining facilities on site, and they would pay these producers to continue to build their green energy. Once the energy production gets to a large enough size to incentivize utility companies to build transmission lines, then the cities and towns can transition to green energy while mining operations reduce their consumption at times the energy is most needed by society. All the while, companies like Intel are racing to create the most energy efficient processors. Why? Because there are competitors like AMD and NVIDIA and Intel. They all create these chips, and they're going to be racing with, there's a booming industry that's paying money. They want to be the ones that are providing these parts, thus leading to a to the booming American green energy sector. Yes, I just made crypto the hero in America's green energy sector story. We only get to complete green energy we only get to 100% green and renewable energy once we figure out storage or a new technology that gives us energy, consistent energy, when the wind doesn't blow and the sun doesn't shine at a level we can all rely on. But one step in front of the other, young Jedi. We need to get there. We're not going to get there overnight. So don't be an idealist about this. Be a realist. So what do you think about all of this? This is all super exciting, in my opinion. I think seeing Gary Gensler change his tone and kind of say, okay, fine, like, we need to work together. And as opposed to when he was first coming out saying, like, no, we need to regulate all of this. He's still saying that the ones that are securities, he's going to regulate, but he's also saying that he recognizes some as commodities. And he's also saying, let's come up with a joint task force. Let's kind of streamline this whole process. Let's make it safe for crypto exchanges to register their products and come under some sort of joint task force. This could make things a lot easier. And, at the end of the day, we're not trying to necessarily make the job of the exchanges easier. We're not trying to make the job of the government easier. We're trying to make it safe for investors, and we're trying to get banks, financial institutions, and the rest of the masses into the crypto space. I mean, that's what I want to see. I want to see this tech flourish, and I want to see the prices go up and adoption come in. And I think that would be super awesome. Plus, right now, I feel like I have the biggest benefit to crypto, in my opinion, is that I'm in it before the banks are. I am ground floor, early adopter of a technology and an investor in an asset class that is going to, in 5-10 years from now, going to be something that is used for the purposes in which it's being created. And until the market figures out those prices, it's going to be volatile. And until there's regulation, it's going to be volatile because there's not that many people in it. But the more people that get in it, the higher the prices go up, the less volatile things get. And then people can just start adopting the technology and allowing us to trade our Starbucks rewards for Delta Sky Miles. And, maybe then Audible won't tell me that when I cancel my subscription, my credits expire. Anyway, what do you think about all of this? Also, this energy efficient thing, and then my concepts for a green energy sector that is built by proof of work mining. What are your thoughts on this? Do you want to poke some holes in my theory? I would love to hear it. I didn't come up with this idea myself. It just made a lot of sense to me because I've done a lot of research when I was in school on green energy sector. And this seems to be a solution that no one's figured out yet because it wasn't around. So anyway, let me know what you think. Drop a comment below. If you're listening on podcast, please give me 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell. It helps support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. And I will talk to you all tomorrow. Hodl on.